She's got shoulder-length blonde hair, the brightest blue eyes you've ever seen in your entire life.
She was in kindergarten and doing great.
Like gone. She's vanished.
And then we lost her.
I kept telling myself, I gotta wake up, I gotta wake up. This isn't real, I've gotta wake up.
I'll never be complete because she'll never be there again. She won't be part of it.
Most of us know someone with cancer. Child abuse is occurring at a rate 10 times greater. It is like a disease in that it often passes from generation to generation. This story centers around a most extreme case. It came to a head right here in this Bentonville neighborhood 3 years ago. A 6-year-old is stripped of her life and her future. Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing the story from those who know exactly what happened. It begins more than 2 decades ago, far away from here.
I was the functioning drug addict. I was close to doing, I don't know, an 8-ball a day. That's a lot.
Ginger Simmons is living in Bakersfield, California when she tries meth for the first time.
I have an addictive personality. Didn't know that then, but I do.
She had just moved there from her hometown of Rogers as a single mom with her 1-year-old son, Zachary Hawley.
I was up for 10, 12, 15 days after that, and I was hooked after that.
She begins a relationship with a man that turns into a 10-year blur of drugs and abuse.
Did you ever see him hurt your kids?
Yes.
In what way?
Beating them.
Over the course of Zachary's childhood, DHS and local police are called to investigate claims of his abuse more than a dozen times. Zachary tells investigators that his mother, stepfather, and brother are abusing him, ranging from neglect to physical to sexual abuse.
I didn't know there were that many cases open against me. Yeah, I was out there.
Court records show Zachary lived in 9 different homes and transferred schools 23 times throughout his childhood. In time for him to start high school, Ginger and Zach moved back to Northwest Arkansas.
I knew about his past, some of his childhood.
Desiree Crouch is introduced to Zach by her best friend, Amanda Broderson, who is dating him.
Everybody has a hard childhood, has a hard time growing up. It's who you become and who you change into is what makes you.
Unfortunately, Desiree is very familiar with child abuse, and this is where Jersey Bridgman comes into the story. Desiree and her ex-husband, David Bridgman, are sharing custody of their 5-year-old daughter, Jersey. Things are going well at Mom's home, but at her father's, that was not the case.
He was chaining her to a dresser, and she was having to sleep on her own bodily fluids.
David and his then-girlfriend are arrested and sentenced for endangerment, abuse, and false imprisonment. From prison, David tells 4029 News why.
Help us understand what led you to that point.
The drugs.
You think the drugs had a lot to do with it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a whole lot to do with it.
Whether you're doing drugs or not, you're a parent. Act like one. Be one. Don't chain my kid up like a dog.
Vicki Price, who Jersey knew best as Mima, says it took her granddaughter about a year until her 6th birthday to fully recover.
She just was love and light and life and an amazing little soul.
Jersey's greatest joy was being a big sister to Leah. They even celebrated their birthdays together.
Happy birthday to you.
Sadly, this one would be the last. It It all started in March of 2012. This is when Desiree moves Jersey and her little sister Leah into a house right next door to Amanda and Zachary Hawley. That's right, Amanda and Zachary had just gotten married.
You think, okay, well, this woman, trust him. Your best friend trusts him, so obviously he's not too bad.
Best friends, living side by side.
Jersey and Lee even called him Uncle Zach. Like, that's how close our families were. They called him Uncle Zach.
So for a while, this was perfect.
It was almost like living in a dream. And then November 20th, the dream ended.
Coming up.
He says it's like a fog. He said it was like a demon got a hold of him.
A lifetime of abuse shows itself.
That's what he called it, a demon.
I wanted to believe that she was still alive, that she was still breathing.
On 4029 Chronicle. On November 19th, 2012, Desiree finishes her shift at Easy Mart and picks up the girls from Zach and Amanda's. She holds Leah, and Zach carries Jersey back to her house, where they lay them down in the same bed.
And that's the last time you saw Jersey?
Yeah. She'd woke up a little bit and told me goodnight, and she loved me. Her favorite way of telling me that she loved me was she'd go, "I love you to the moon and back."
It was the last peaceful sleep she would have for a long time.
I was running a little late, and so to get Jersey up for school, and then I went to go look for her and didn't find her. Couldn't find her. I was checking all through the house and I couldn't find her. And I called my mom. I said, "Mom, I can't find Jersey."
You go into the mother mode. Did you check under the bed? Did you check in the closets? Did you do this? Did you? Yeah, she said. So call 911.
Before I called the cops, I'd peeked out and it was, Amanda was sitting on her front porch and I was like, "Did you get Jersey?" And she's like, "No, I didn't." And that's when I was scared. I was terrified.
Bentonville 911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's 608 Southeast 8th Street.
I kept telling myself, I gotta wake up, I gotta wake up. This isn't real, I've gotta wake up.
And I'm knuckling the steering wheel, thinking, she's somewhere. This can't be happening. We get over to the house, and the police are already there, and she truly is missing.
As the morning of November 20th draws on, more and more police are surrounding this Bentonville neighborhood, looking for 6-year-old Jersey Bridgman.
People are starting to gather around, they're starting to tape off, starting to tape off my house.
Zachary Hawley is walking all around the neighborhood.
He was helping look for it, before the cops got there. He was searching up and down the street.
Just after 10 a.m., police execute a search warrant on an abandoned home a few doors down.
I remember going to one of the officers and asking him, "Is she in there?" I could tell he was emotionally distraught. He couldn't answer me, and he just looked at me. He couldn't say anything, and I knew right then that she was in there and that it wasn't good.
In the closet of the southwest bedroom, the search ends.
They called my dad away, and my dad comes back into the living room, and my mom could see it all over his face. They called him to identify the body.
Police find Jersey's body, naked, with her pajama bottoms wrapped around her neck.
I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to believe that she was still alive, that she was still breathing.
Police send her body straight to the state crime lab and zero in on finding her killer.
They really start with a very methodical approach of looking, knowing that most people are killed by someone close to them. They really start working from the victim's family out.
I kept a pretty tight, close group of friends. I didn't talk to just random people. The people that were near me were the people that I knew the best.
And that's where police move first.
Appreciate you coming in.
Amanda Hawley walks detectives through the night before.
Anything I could do to help find my niece. Or to find out what happened to her.
Amanda's account matches Desiree's story, but Zach mentions a late night outing.
I remember looking at the time, it was 3:35. My stomach was hurting. I was going to Easy Mart to get some Pepto-Bismol.
Detective Corporal Mike Stegall spots this as a possible alibi Zachary has created for himself.
Come on, Zach. Come on out, bud.
But has nothing to hold him on. Zach gives officers a DNA cheek swab. They give him another chance to tell a different story.
Tell me what happened.
I went to bed last night, that's what happened. Took my little girl in and went home.
3 days later, on November 23rd, detectives get a surprise call from Zachary Hawley.
So just to be absolutely clear, Zach, you've made a decision on your own to do this polygraph, and I'm assuming for the purpose of trying to clear your name.
Yes, because I want you to find the person who did this.
Well, I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place because you have to remember he's telling his family and his friends he didn't do it. And so if he's telling them he didn't do it, why wouldn't he want to cooperate with the police?
He takes the test that night. The results and the autopsy report come in on November 26th, the day of Jersey's funeral. Zachary Hawley is about to walk in to Jersey's funeral when detectives call him to the station.
The polygraph results indicated deception, meaning that you failed the test.
They also tell Zachary something he already knows. Jersey had been raped.
The DNA matches your DNA.
Hey, man. It's all right.
At first, he adamantly denies it.
So I honestly believe I didn't do it.
Then he cracks.
What do you guys want to know?
From there, he tells them everything.
Put the bands around her neck, and I tied it in a knot.
He even draws a picture of where he left her body.
That's the hallway. There's the bathroom right here.
I think when you look at his confession, the Bentonville police did such a great job with that because, again, they had been very specific about what they had withheld from the public. And in his confession, he gave several details that were unknown to anyone but the killer.
And they said, we've got him. And the moment that they said Zach's name, I felt betrayed. I felt more hurt. You know, I felt anger. I felt like, how dare you?
Is there any part of you that thought he might have had something to do with this?
No. Not one, not even for a second.
Next,
I entrust him with my life. My kids are my life.
how the jury will weigh Zach's past abuse against his crime.
Zachary should have been taken away from me.
Plus,
94% of the time, children know their offender.
the organization working to end child abuse.
It's probably the only thing that makes me feel good about the whole thing.
On 4029 Chronicle. After denying for 6 days he has anything to do with Jersey Bridgman's murder, Zachary Hawley confesses to police. Now he has to tell his family. His first phone call is to his wife.
Yes. No. I don't know what. I'm so scared, Kitty.
Then he calls his mother, Ginger Simmons.
Hey, Mama. I'm in jail. Because I killed Jersey. They found my DNA. I'm so sorry, Mama.
And he said, do you still love me, Mama? And I said, of course I do.
In that house, he disrobed her, he raped her, and he strangled her to death.
Prosecutors formally charged Zachary Hawley with residential burglary, kidnapping, rape, and capital murder. They spend the next 2.5 years getting ready for the trial, armed with DNA evidence and now a confession.
In this case, the manner of the death was very cruel. The death was that of a child, a 6-year-old girl. And we also allege that Zach Hawley committed this crime essentially to silence Jersey Bridgman, so she would never tell anyone about the crime of rape. Made it an easy decision to know that it was the right thing to do to seek the death penalty.
On May 20th of this year, a jury finds Zach guilty on all 4 counts. 7 days later, they sentence him to death.
Me and how I felt, how much anger I feel still, I want to see him die. I want to see him put that needle in his arm, and I want to see him take his last breath.
I would hold his hand when if they give him the lethal injection. I brought him into this world, and I would see him out.
Anytime someone is sentenced to death, a panel of 4 state Supreme Court justices automatically review the case for any procedural errors. In this case, that's set to happen in the next year or 2.
And from there, appeals really depend on how much Zach Hawley wants to pursue them.
He knows he did wrong, and he just wants to get this done and over with.
Is he gonna fight the death penalty?
Zachary Hawley is now at Varner Supermax Prison, where he spends 23 hours a day alone in a cell. Now that it's all over, there's still one big question that's left hanging.
What I was thinking. I remember thinking, what are you doing? They're bad.
So why did he do it?
I don't know why I did it. I should just be home. I had a beautiful wife right next to me.
He says it's like a fog. He said it was like a demon got a hold of him. And that's what he called it, a demon.
The demon may be his past. While researching this story, I learned that abusers have similar patterns. Rita Farrell, who works with the Gunderson National Child Protection Training Center, knows how to read the signs.
Children, especially boys under the age of 12, who witness interpersonal violence as they grow up are more likely to offend. It's a learned, behavior in that respect.
Remember all of those DHS investigations into Zachary's family? Not a single one resulted in his removal from the home.
Zachary should have been taken away from me. I should have had to fight to get him back, no matter how much I loved him. DHS dropped the ball.
Zachary also never received the counseling DHS suggested he get. I asked Ginger, was it her fault?
At first I blame myself. But God gives us free will to pick and choose what we do. And Zach did what he did. No, I don't think I had anything to do with what Zach did. I'm sorry for his upbringing, but he chose to do what he did.
Right after Zachary Hawley's sentencing, Jersey's family released doves into the sky at her gravesite. And it wasn't the last time that they would look up to find peace.
She was the sky. She was everywhere. And that was as close as I'd been to her since we'd lost her. It was right up there as close as I could get to her without being in heaven. So it was an amazing feeling for me.
Oh my God! Vicky's skydive raised thousands of dollars for the Children's Advocacy Center, an organization that helps families who are dealing with child abuse. You may know the CAC as the group that puts those pinwheels out every year for Child Abuse Awareness Month.
You drive by the police station, aren't they pretty? They're spinning, aren't they pretty? Isn't it devastating? Really? Those pinwheels are so pretty, but isn't it so harsh?
Each one represents a confirmed case of child abuse that year. The CAC provides families with advocacy support, forensic interviews, medical exams, and counseling services. Talking about abuse is never easy, especially for kids.
So this is one of the interview rooms.
So they make the setting as comfortable as possible.
And here there's a camera where the prosecutor could be, the law enforcement officers.
The investigators are there, but kids never see them.
So this is the medical examination room. We can do evidence collection in this room. We can do testing for sexually transmitted infections.
Last year, the CAC of Benton County saw almost 750 kids.
Maybe our services will no longer be needed in the future. I mean, wouldn't that be amazing?
But right now, they are. This group leads victims from pain and shame to a new place of courage and hope, just like they did for Jersey's little sister, Leah.
She healed here. They took her from a scared little girl to back to the bouncing little happy girl that we knew.
Next.
Every now and again something will hit you and you cry just as hard as you did the first day.
Life from here.
It's a new normal way of living life. You know, it'll never, ever, ever be the same, ever.
And I wasn't mad at God anymore. I knew that this was our journey together.
I can't say that I'll ever be completely happy ever again.
Right now, as long as my kids are taken care of, you know, that's the main goal for me right now. I have to get up for them. I don't even get up for me anymore. You know, it's more like I get up for them. I live for them.
And I do love him. I know people might look at me and say, how can you love somebody like that? If we are to live in God's glory, we are to learn to forgive and to stretch out our hands and to love people as God loves us.